Welcome to the garage. I'm Robert, and this is Haslip CycleWorks. Have something new for you guys today. We're actually going to unbox a brand new tool for the shop. And that tool is a brand new. When I unbox this for you guys, it'll be the first time that I've actually seen it out of the box. But what we have today is an Everlast inverter powered plasma cutter. It's the model 50S. Haven't opened it yet. Box looks in okay shape. Hopefully it's packaged well. But let me get you guys on the tripod and we'll open this bad boy up. Okay, so I've got you guys on the tripod, and I think we're at a good angle here so you can see what's going on. I'm not going to talk a whole lot while I'm opening it up, because, I mean, really what's there to say about opening a box? But I'm going to go ahead and get it out of the box and see what we're working with. It looks like our plasma cutter made it unscathed. We have all of our parts, all of our consumables. Torch looks good, no issues. Everything looks as you would expect or hope for. Before we start to put this together and test it out, I just want to kind of go over why I chose this particular unit. You've seen it before, but I have an Everlast PowerArc 160 STH. That's the 160 amp high frequency start DC TIG machine that Everlast offers. It's 220 volt, and it has never done me wrong. So when I started looking for a plasma cutter, I read a bunch of reviews online, like any one of us normally would. And I was actually leaning towards the generic Chinese, I believe it's made in China, Cut 50. You can find it all day long, different variations on eBay and Amazon. I may put a link down in the description for the particular unit. I was actually convinced that that was the unit I was going to go for. It's very inexpensive. It's allegedly 50 amps. Can't really find any real solid proof on that or not, but it's 110 volt, so maybe 50 amps. The main reason why I did not go with it was I do have plans for this plasma cutter. I wanted the ease of use with 220 volt because I've already got the garage wired for 220 for my welder. I wanted at least 40 amps for what I was going to be doing, and this unit is rated at 50 amps. But one of the, or several of the reasons I wanted this particular unit was, if you look here at the start type, it's a blowback. Most of your cheaper plasma cutters are going to be a high frequency start, which is fine. If you're going to do manual plasma cutting, be perfect. And that was the case with the Cut 50. One of the other things that I liked about this unit is at 220 volts, I can get a 100% duty cycle at 40 amps. So that means if I'm running this at 40 amps, I don't have to stop and let this thing cool down. So if I'm cutting a lot, I'm going to run out of steam before this box does. And then at 60% for 50 amps, I mean, you're going to have to stop and reposition, and it's going to be hard to knock this machine out. And I've seen some videos on it, read some reviews, and No one's had any issues with this. But I needed something that could cut continuously for a good amount of time. If you follow along, you're probably figuring out why. And then our actual, if we're doing a hand torch, hopefully you guys can see this, hand torch, daily use. So that means on the regular. Recommended maximum average cut thickness, 1/2 inch. I don't know that I'm ever going to cut 1/2 inch. I may, but it's going to be few and far between when I do. This is what we're really interested in. The recommended daily maximum average cut thickness, if you're using it in a CNC scenario, 1/4 inch. I don't think I'm going to make any tabs or anything like that out of anything other or thicker than 1/4 inch. So we're good there. It meets our ease of use because 220 volt, ready to go. It will also do, with the included adapter cable, it'll run on 110. So if you're looking for a 110 machine, this is still a good option. It's material thickness cut capability, perfect for what we need. Its amperage fits the bill perfect. And the final candy on the top, sugar coating, whatever you want to call it, that really got me was it has a built-in CNC port. That's right, boys and girls. We here at Haslip Cycle Works plan on taking this plasma cutter and building our own CNC plasma table. Now that's all going to be in a multi-part series. It will be a collaboration video with Jason from Code Makes It Go. You guys met him in a previous episode with my welding rotary positioner. So he's going to be helping us out on the electronic side of that project. Plasma cutting table is actually going to be something that I don't think very many people have done before and very few people have seen before. I'm not going to spill the beans yet, but you definitely want to subscribe if you haven't yet to see that. It's going to be pretty cool, and it may be something that some of you guys may want to do if you're also in a small shop and space is a premium. But like I said, I've never had a problem out of my Everlast 160 STH. I couldn't find a reason not to stick with that company. I'm not loyal to a brand for any reason. Everlast did not sponsor this video. They did not give me a discount on this equipment. There's no kickbacks for me to show you this equipment. So I went and I'm going to try this out. I have very high expectations, and I do not believe I will be disappointed. But you can always count on me to give you a non-biased, non-sugar-coated, straight-shooting opinion on a piece of equipment. I'm not going to sell out for you guys. I'm all about getting you guys to watch these videos, to build confidence, get out in your own garage, and do some of these projects, or your own twist on some of the projects that we're doing here. So I do not want you guys to have me sell out to a company for money or whatever other means and then purchase the same equipment that I'm using in my episodes only to be disappointed. I will never do that to you guys. If I find something that's solid and I don't mind putting my name on, then I will bring it to you guys and I'll show you. If it's absolute crap, I will be straight up and I will tell you. So if this thing doesn't perform as we expect, you guys, you'll know. I'll be straight up with you. I don't have loads of money just laying around. I can't afford to be wasting my time and money and effort on the stuff that I don't think is going to do what we need it to do. And I'm pretty sure that most of my viewing audience is in the same boat. So let's go ahead and get this bad boy together and fire it up and do a couple test cuts. So before we get to putting this thing together and firing it up for the first time, let's talk about what you actually need to cut with plasma. You need, other than the base metal that you want to cut, you need air and electricity. In our case, we've got the electricity covered. We've got 220 on the wall. The only other thing we need after that would be air. With plasma cutting, the amount of air and the quality of the air is very important. So I currently have a 21-gallon, 2.5 horse Harbor Freight air compressor. It will meet the minimum requirements for a plasma cutter for short bursts. It will not keep up for extended cuts or for CNC stuff. So that's going to be a problem, but we'll address that in a later episode. But we should be good with it to go ahead and get it together, fire it up, do some cutting, and just getting used to the plasma cutting process. The Everlast actually comes with a few pieces, a filter / water trap, your mount for it, your fittings, couple clamps, short piece of hose, but you don't want to rely on just this. Getting moisture, or especially oil, into plasma cutter could be detrimental. So on top of this, I made a little trip to the local Harbor Freight, picked up a couple other little brass fittings, one of their 20-piece air compressor kits. Comes with the coiled up hose, a couple chucks, a bunch of fittings, and Teflon tape. I mean, can't go wrong. I think less than 15 bucks for this. And the stuff that we're not going to use, we can always use later for something else. Good purchase. I also picked up one of their desiccant dryers with oil removal / filter. This is a little bit pricey, even for something from Harbor Freight. It's probably right about 60 bucks. But I'd rather spend the $60 to make sure I'm not going to screw up my even more expensive plasma cutter. I want to get years of trouble-free use out of this, and the best way to do it is to provide it with quality, clean, dry air. And this is going to get that for us. So what I'm going to do is get all these parts assembled. Okay, so I've gone ahead and hooked up the air supply, and as you can see, the desiccant dryer and the oil separator air filter are just kind of sitting on the workbench. I'm not sure where I'm going to put the compressor in its final location or where I'm going to put the plasma cutter, so I just have it sitting there for now. Tested everything for leaks. Our compressor is run and filled the tank up to the recommended PSI. I've got everything connected. I've got our ground hooked to our workpiece. Torch is connected. I measured from the standoff on the torch to the tip of the torch, and it's at the recommended distance for the size of the tip in our cutting torch. Just have some 22 gauge be the first thing we cut. Should be pretty simple, pretty easy for this thing to slice right through it like butter. All right, enough talking about it. Let's do it. I don't know, guys. Looks like it did it no problem. I don't have the steadiest hand with it yet, and not quite used to it, but as fast as I can move the torch, it was cutting right through it, and I'd call that a pretty clean cut, especially seeing how we just started. That was 22 gauge mild steel. I think what I want to do now is try some aluminum. So what I just put on the bench is just some aluminum angle. I want to say it's 1/4 inch thick at its thickest point. We're not going to touch anything on the machine. We're just going to light this thing up and see what it does. Well, I definitely had no problem with that at all. Sliced right through it like it was nothing. So far I'm really impressed. I'm really happy with this purchase, and you guys know that I'm going to use this thing and put it to the test. But as of right now, it's working perfect. So stay tuned. I think now that we know it cuts really well, I'm going to get a little more practice with it, get the settings dialed in. Although out of the box the thing works so far flawlessly. Haven't had to mess with anything. I'm going to get a little more practice with it, get used to it, and then I think we need a dedicated table to cut on, like a dedicated plasma table that we could throw something on and cut, and we don't want to burn or gouge our nice flat weld table, so I think we need a dedicated cutting surface. So stay tuned. That'll be the next episode in the series for the plasma cutter, is some sort of table build. And then after that, we're going to start talking about turning this bad boy into a CNC plasma cutter. Until next time, guys, get up, get out there, and do it.